Subscribe to Akademiks and check it out now. Man, I hate these stories, man. Listen, a story about a nigga allegedly raping a bitch. I mean, a woman. We got to keep it politically correct. It's a very hard story to cover because, I mean, in one sense, it could be a very vile human being who deserves to be punished. And, I mean, it deserves the extent of the law, which should be whatever the maximum is. But then again, it could be somebody who's innocent who, in return, their life is, like, actually ruined for even going through this process. And usually with the alleged victim, if they lied, nothing happens. So it's a really hard story to cover. But if you guys don't know, Freddie Gibbs, he was actually charged with rape in Austria. Austria is a country. Basically, they said he was raping a chick out there, all right? Now, listen, it's a little bit muddy because he was supposed to go back to Austria after that incident happened. He canceled. I'm not sure if he knew what was up, but he canceled, right? Now, he did go to other countries because he tours, like, internationally. However, Austria put in a extradition request. If you don't know what that is, basically, it's a request to, like, another country to say, hey, this motherfucker comes over here, you get him locked up. We want him to be shipped over here because we got some shit to actually charge him with. So he was locked up in France, right? So France locked him up, and now they're going through this extradition process. The process is really just to make sure that they're not violating any of his, like, rights, and also they actually have a case to charge him with, because before they turn him over to another country, they want to make sure they at least protect him somehow, okay? So he's locked up, right? He was about to go on stage, if you didn't know what went on. He was about to go on stage, bicking back, being bull, smoking, you know what I mean, doing his thing, and the cops just slapped the cuffs on him like, nigga, you going to jail, right? So he's been locked up. Now, Troy Ave's lawyer, I know it sounds weird. It sounds really odd to me, right? Troy Ave's lawyer, who just finished having some hearings with Troy Ave and the New York Police Department or the New York DA's office, he basically, his name is Scott Lemon, he went over to France and he's now defending Freddie Gibbs. So from what I've heard, the Scott Lemon guy, he's like the best of the best. 50 Cent is fuck with him, and that's why Troy Ave is fucking with him. And of course, in this serious case, possibly why Freddie Gibbs is fucking with him, right? So he actually got Freddie Gibbs bail in this extradition process. And the bail is actually $56,000. And he has to give up his passport. He can't, like, go anywhere, really. He has to check in with authorities 3 times a week. And basically, this is while he goes through this process of determining if he will be extradited to Austria. Now, the lawyers came out, right? Like, the Troy Ave's lawyer, which is also Freddie Gibbs' lawyer, came out and said, yo, these charges are bullshit. I mean, these are complete bullshit. They're saying that if we check out the charges, there's no scientific nor physical evidence against him. And they're saying that, listen, any prosecutor with half a brain would not want to charge him with this nonsense, much less extradite him. So basically, they're hoping that it doesn't go too far and they could actually get him back to the U.S. or at least out of this problem, or at least somehow selling it with Austrian officials. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, like, I can't tell y'all if he did it. I don't know if he's innocent. And I can't tell y'all if he's guilty. Because people be lying, but you never know. There's some crazy human beings out there, okay? Again, I'm glad he has freedom. I'm glad he has enough money to pay $56,000, that he could be free and not just be sitting in a cell, because that could take a toll on your mind, right? But, of course, we will see what happens, and I'm just praying, because when it gets outside of the borders of the United States, even though the embassy will probably be, you know what I mean, they'll definitely be trying to keep an eye on it, right? Because, of course, like, he's a U.S. resident. They can't really control it. If a nigga did a crime outside the borders, I mean, U.S., even if they're like, oh, that's our guy, they can't do much. So hopefully he's innocent, and we'll continue to watch it, and I'll let you know what's the next thing with him, okay? But he's in France. He's on bail, and he could chill in France, you know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know, visit Eiffel Tower or some shit, but he cannot leave until this extradition process is over and they decide whether to extradite him or not. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe to Akademiks. I'm out.